Battle stations. Battle stations. Man spotted, bearing 335, hot.
Okay, so shall we run through the rules, gentlemen?
Yeah, especially the one about no interfering.
Okay, yes, exactly. Right, so if you come over here, your first job will be to configure your aircraft. Thumble, do you want to take odd or even numbers?
You tell me which, I'll take one.
It's not a trick question. Have a guess.
I'll be odd.
Right, so you're on this left logistics station. Pupboy, you're on the right logistics station. All of the aircraft and units you can configure have either odd numbers or even numbers, so you can only do the ones that are assigned to yourself. Now, over this side there is your corresponding operator's screen. Let me just get this one set up right because it wasn't centered on carrier. My apologies. And those are the only two screens you can touch, only two stations you can touch. You can't move the carrier, you can't fiddle with the buttons, you can't sit in the captain's chair, and you're not allowed to interfere with the other person's units. You can only interfere with your own units in the nicest possible way.
So we can't launch cruise missiles.
I will leave the cruise missile switch on, just in case.
This one's a bit far, but the other one was close.
It is a bit far, but that's fine. So, odd numbers, you will be taking burn to the west of the carrier. Even numbers, Pupboy, you will be taking Elwood to the east. So, if you want to stand by your logistics seats, and then Bread, if you get ready to take over, on the sound of the klaxon, go. So are you both ready? Thumble, are you ready?
Oh, I thought they were going to start by the on the line.
No.
Oh, right then. Okay.
We'll do it now.
Gentlemen, are you ready?
Yes.
Ready. Is that a go?
That's a go.
So quickest off the mark there was Pupboy in the seat. We're seeing frantic petrol customization here. And Alpha 6, an even number, is to launch first by the look of things. Has the lift started to move yet? So an interesting thing is the different vehicle slots are slightly different distances from the lift, but in this case, I think it might even out.
So I'm seeing Pupboy here configuring a few more aircraft. Both players have got a seal and a petrol apparently loaded and ready to go. Now, we don't know what is being loaded on those. We'll have a look when they come out. But there is every opportunity to choose anything you like. You can choose smoke, you can choose rockets, you can choose TV missiles, anything you like. And we will find out. Oh, do I hear a lift? I do.
It appears Thumble has opted for laser guided missiles and wing tanks on his Albatross. So that would certainly give him more time.
That would not be me.
Oh,
that's me.
No, it might not be you. No. Ooh. Okay. Well, it's certainly going to give you pinpoint accuracy. We shall see how well this pans out.
So let's take a look at what's going on in terms of the deployment. We have both seals are deploying, which is to be expected because they're fairly quick to come out. And there is a pickup already set for Elwood.
Petrol about to launch.
And
Petrol with
whose
2
petrol
guns
is that?
and 2 what looks like IR missiles.
That'll be mine.
We see both viruses in the water already. Now, getting on the lift first is going to be a major time bonus for whoever gets there first. So we already see the first petrol circling due to its cup.
Oh, I've got 2 aircraft up before we lost. That's nice. I've got 3 aircraft up before we lost. That'll be a big delay.
Now,
Oh,
of course,
goodness.
yes, because we've got multiple aircraft, it is going to be a bit of a race for the lift. So it isn't just who gets there first. It's maybe 2 and 3 will be 4 and 5. It's anyone's guess at the moment.
Jeez.
Sounds like someone put some rockets on, yes?
No, didn't. Just put the cannons on.
And we have a pickup.
Wow, looking at all the waypoints set up on Elwood there, it looks like a game of noughts and crosses where noughts wasn't allowed to play. Absolutely got everything set up, got the tactics set up, ready to go. And there's a petrol in the air with IR missiles, auto cannons. Doesn't look like there's a gimbal on it or any form of sighting. But it doesn't matter because there's an Albatross coming along that has some IR missiles, some laser missiles, radar, tip tanks, and also a gimbal camera. That will probably be doing the spotting. Pupboy is expediting that. Well, he was expediting that to the scene of the scene of the capture. And coming up
Scene of
behind,
the accident, Roland.
sorry.
Loading.
Coming up behind is a Razor Bill with auto cannons on it, so that's just in case there's not enough ordnance on its way already.
And Thumb's petrol is now airborne.
Thumble is airborne. Now, if we look
What can I say? I'm a gentleman of leisure.
So if we take a look at the islands here, we can't see the detail on these islands yet because there's no one close enough, but it's a 2-shield island. Seems to be a main island with the command center towards the northwest and a secondary island. Now, as these are 2-shield islands, there will be a defending air force, and that will be a mix of both anti-air, which will be trying to take down all the incoming air units, and also air-to-ground, so any assets that are landed will become under attack by the air force. And there's one ground asset that everybody's taken, which is a SEAL, including a and somebody just fired something a SEAL which has the virus bots on it, and the SEAL is not a robust unit, needs a lot of protection, and so that's what's going to need to happen. Now Thumble has got a drop set up. Now Thumble is the expert of what's known as the combat drop.
We have a cruise missile out from the carrier already. It's heading towards Elwood, so that's Pupboy taking advantage of the carrier weapons.
And we have Thumble is 15 kilometers away with his petrol. Pupboy is over the island already with his Albatross and scanning units, and is 7.5 kilometers away. But I think we'll find that Thumble is driving his petrol, which is far faster. So in terms of actually getting the capture package to the location, it's anybody's game.
It certainly looks like Thumble will make up the time difference in delivering the petrol to the island, but does he realise he hasn't launched his other aircraft? Meanwhile, Pupboy has 3 cruise missiles on the way to Elwood.
I can already see a strike has occurred on the airfield from Pupboy, so he's trying to
foggy, I know.
he's trying to take out the enemy air before it gets off the ground, which is a very sensible tactic. And what was I saying about, or what was Bread saying about Thumble making up the difference? The petrol for 3.5 kilometres for Pupboy's petrol and 4 kilometres for Thumble. So there you go, Thumble has made all the difference up.
So I have a bit of a sideways view from Thumble's carried virus seal, and I can already see some headlights.
So it's getting dusk out there, it's getting dark, which is going to make it harder to spot the turrets that are on the island, but a lot easier to spot the units that are on the island. Thumble is in manual control.
It looks like Pupboy's first cruise missiles are about to hit.
And where are they going to hit? And obviously we can't call out the effectiveness of the individual hits because that would give operators an unfair advantage. But we can see a lot of fire coming up from the island. There's multiple missiles coming out from Pupboy's Albatross, from the carrier, and units are taking a lot of fire.
Oh, and that was an impressive strike on the end of the runway there.
The Holomac is an absolute mess of fire right now, and Thumble's picking up an awful lot of fire. And those slower moving rounds you see there are probably 30 mil. The faster moving ones are probably 15 mil. There's a mix of walruses and seals on these islands. The walruses are much tougher, much slower moving, and going to pack a lot of a punch, whereas the seals are very lightweight, very fast, and typically will have the 15 mil included on them. So taking a look over the shoulders, yes, I can see Pupboy there, manually operating.
Thumble is skirting the edge of the compound at Burn and is taking on turrets.
Let's have a look.
I believe that turrets themselves actually have more armour than bears because you have to do quite a sustained strike to take them out.
Very difficult for auto cannons. What other ordnance did Thumble bring with him on his petrol?
I believe there are 2 air-to-air missiles.
Oh, interesting. Now, air-to-air missiles aren't always used for attacking air targets, oddly enough. You can use them as unguided IR missiles.
It looks like Thumble has done a manual combat drop.
Wow.
Landing his seal in the compound at Burn.
Good grief.
Now the trick now will be to try and keep that seal alive while the AI-controlled units are streaming towards the compound.
And it looks as if Thumble's petrol is attracting a lot of fire. Let's have a look and see how Pupboy is getting on. So it looks like Pupboy is already capturing. We missed that one.
We did. Thumble is about 10 seconds away from deploying his capture as well.
So Pupboy has gone for a capture, is about 30% complete.
It looks like at the moment he's guarding the compound and his virus bots using the razor bill he took with him. He's currently engaging a couple of ground units.
And actually taking them out while they are in the water. That is an impressive feat. So you get no splash damage from your rounds if you're attacking things in the water, so it makes them a lot harder. You have to be a lot more accurate to kill those.
Yeah, you have to be pinpoint accurate to pull that off.
And looks like he's given up with the razor bill and he's going in with the petrol. Razor Bills has 0 ammo left on it. That's the reason why he's run out of ammo. This could
And
be a
that
problem.
lack of splash damage is proving to be a bit of a challenge there, but we have seen that last unit die. I don't know if there's any more on the island.
Very close to capture now for Pupboy.
Almost there.
Thumble's capture is very close as well. That's about 75–80%. And Thumble's still mopping up. Yes, and there is a capture.
And
Elwood.
Congratulations,
Pupboy wins.
You now the new owner of Elwood.
And you get yourself the opportunity to purchase a barge.
Yes.
And
Other
then,
combat units are available.
and then let's just keep watching. Thumble's just killed 3 units there, and it's literally seconds away. We'll take a look at the mission timer back on action replay and find out the difference in capture. But it's not going to be much. We are talking seconds. And there's the capture. Wow, that was a very, very close match.
That was lightning fast. There was seconds difference between the two. There was some extremely intense low-level flying from Thumble and some real kind of massed deployment of firepower from Pupboy Elwood.
Excellent. Okay, contenders, would you join me by the medal board for your interview, please? We'll go to Pupboy first. Hello, Pupboy.
Hello.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your win. How did it feel?
It was great, yeah. I just threw out all the missiles I had, and it seemed to have worked.
And
is there anything you'd do differently next time with that, or was that your plan? Did you stick to it?
That was the plan. I think a huge advantage I got was getting all 3 of my aircraft up before Thumble's petrol. It was. I think I launched my petrol without a gimbal gun, which let it launch as soon as possible. That gave me a head start. I think without that head start, I would have lost.
it was very, very close. And you weren't intimidated by the old expert, the old school expert, who you can't mention petrol in Carrier Command 2 without mentioning Thumble. Not intimidated at all?
Well, naturally, when I saw he went out with a single petrol, I was quite worried. No one can do a single petrol capture any better.
Well,
but with near unlimited resources here, I was able to fire off cruise missiles, laser missiles, IR missiles, guns, smoke even, and commanding everything together, I pulled it off.
excellent. Well, thanks very much. Congratulations, Pupboy and Thumble. Let me stand by. Thumble, well, commiserations, but we were talking seconds in it. There was it's very, very difficult to see who was going to win at one stage. And tell us a bit about this combat drop that we've heard so much about. It looked like an extremely quick maneuver.
Yeah, you can set a drop point, and then as long as you fly your petrol to that drop point, you can put the seal exactly where you want it very accurately.
It sounds like something that you would need some practice and or skill or both to achieve that on a regular basis.
Yeah, a little bit. It just takes a bit of practice, but once you can do it, and it's a very useful tool.
So what were your tactics with only taking a single aircraft? I mean, Pupboy took 3 aircraft and used carrier weapons as well. So you were confident you could achieve this with 1 aircraft? That was your tactic all along, was it, or was it your hand was forced because you were unfortunately last out of the carrier?
It'd be interesting to look at the replay and see who pressed which buttons when, but I'm pretty sure I tried to launch my aircraft second, so I'm not sure what happened there. But no, kudos to Pupboy for coordinating so many units, because that's very difficult when you're just one operator to use multiple units at the same time. My approach is basically in a a PvE or PvP game, you don't necessarily have lots of resources to throw at a 2-shield island. So you want to be able to do it all with a petrel, and just a petrel and the virus seal. So that's what you should aspire to, I think, as an operator, and that's what I was trying to do here.
That's
Yeah,
very
I
good.
think we're breaking new ground here with some of the inventive tactics we're gonna see in these events. I think the launch order does seem to be a big factor early on. I think if we look at the end, there was probably only about 15 seconds in it, but your launches were delayed by a lot longer than that. So I guess it could go either way. I think if whoever goes up and does a similar thing next really has to kind of judge whether they're going to get all their units out with enough ordnance or just launch with what they've got.
I mean, say I've got my aircraft up first, I could have just put up the Albatross and the Razorbill, not to do anything with them, but just to slow the launch queue down, which I think would be a bit sneaky. I'm not suggesting that's what happened here, of course, but it is a tactic that I could just... They'll launch first if they're empty, so I could slow things down by pressing those buttons.
Yeah, that's an interesting tactic. All tactics are allowed in this matchup. All exploits are allowed, but interfering with the other person's aircraft or units is the only thing that's not allowed, as well as pressing any other buttons on the carrier. So commiserations, Thumblegudget, but to be honest, I think you are both winners, because if you take the launch order out of it, Thumble did manage to capture quicker, just couldn't get off the aircraft. But for Pupboy to come in and actually win this against the legendary Thumblegudget is something that I think we're going to have to call it a shock result. Do you think that's right, Brett?
I think you might be right.
Right, thanks very much, everybody.
And congratulations.
Yeah, well done.
No one is telling you what to do. Game rules apply, so technically you were told what to do, but it's more guidelines.